Hi everyone, I'm so glad you're here with me for this nugget-sized practice. We're going to be doing this from a seat on the ground, so make yourself comfortable. I'm sitting up on a meditation cushion. You might sit on a couple of blankets. Take a moment to roll your shoulders. And sometimes the hardest part about our practice is showing up in the first place. So here you are, making the most of a few moments of attending to yourself. So congratulations for that. You might switch directions with your shoulder rolls. Come into the center, invite a little looseness into your neck and shoulders. And let's take our right arm out to the side and lean over to the right. So you could use your left hand here to push down on the top of your left hip, almost like you're trying to decompress your left hip to push your thigh bone a little out of your pelvis. Maybe tuck your chin. And then you could take your left arm out and up to the sky. That might feel right. Or you can take it over your ear into a full side bend. That might feel like the appropriate place to hang out. You could also hold onto the back of your neck and lead with your elbow. Explore that. And if you like, you could also tip yourself over so that your right elbow comes a little closer to the ground and your left hip comes off of the prop or the ground. And then ground your left hip and come a little off of the weight in your right elbow. So a little teeter-totter action. As you're leaning to the side, you could tip into your right elbow and then tip into your left hip. Maybe with one more breath, you explore this side bend. Some of you might get heavy in the elbow and the hip at the same time. And then let's reach with our left arm back up to the sky. Stay a little right leaning there. And like you're doing a rowing action, pull your left elbow back behind you. So wing your left elbow back behind you. That could rotate your chest a bit more up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna let my head hang here. And then we're gonna push ourselves all the way back up to the middle, right back into center. Catch that moment. And if your hands are on your knees here, you can go into a bit of a slumping pattern and go into your kind of regular old slump and then go beyond that, go a little more into that, go into the slump to your heart's content. And then let's arch a bit forward, squeeze our shoulder blades together, invitation to look up towards the sky. When do you do that? And then go back into the slump. Check that out. And go back into the arch. There's that shoulder blade squeeze. Come back to center. Exhale everything out. And we'll go over to the other side. So left hand leans over to the side. And you can start with decompressing your right hip. So pushing into your right upper leg bone, like you're leaning it out of your pelvis there. Maybe tuck your chin. And you can take your arm out on a diagonal up towards the sky. You could take it over your ear into an expression of a side bend. You could hold on to the back of your head and lead with your elbow. Really reach with your elbow. Pull on the back of your neck any amount. And then you could tip. So you could tip into your left elbow a bit and let your right hip come off of the floor. And then ground your right hip and lift a little off of your left elbow. Little teeter-totter side to side here. Exploring where you might feel the sensations in the stretch. Some of you might get heavy in your right hip and your left elbow at the same time. And one more side leaning thing here, you could let your right arm come up into the air and then big rowing action rotates your chest a bit more up towards the ceiling. You could do that a couple of times. I'm leaning my head away from my right shoulder, letting it hang. And then rotating to look down a bit here and pressing yourself all the way back up to center. And round, go into that slump. Let yourself be a little bit of a rebel, because often we don't slump in our yoga practice, but go into it. Get a beautiful stretch to your back body. There's nothing wrong with this position. And then we can arch into our back, squeeze our shoulder blades together. You could look up and round. Could even lean a little left to right here and arch your spine. Come to neutral, and in neutral, as if you had a long nose, can you draw circles with your nose out in front of you? You might even close your eyes, switch directions. I'm hearing some little crinkles happening around my upper neck spine. Just being tender with this area, coming into the center. And one last thing for our neck. So let's try to keep our neck spine fairly steady. And then slide our chin forwards. And then slide our chin back, so the back of your skull feels like it's moving backwards. And it's like you're tucking a little drawer in with your chin. And then come to neutral there. Notice if it's sticky forwards with your skull and back with your skull. And then into the center, and this is where I really feel the stickiness, is side to side. So it's like you're gonna slide your skull right without moving your neck spine too much, and slide it left a couple of times, right. And I'm noticing I have quite a bit of movement right and like hardly any left. So go for those micro movements that can potentially unlock some movement potential. And we tend to be on screens a lot and be a bit forward, so check out forwards and back again, side to side. A little dance. And then let yourself find that teeter-totter balance, little yes movements of your skull on top of your spine. You might close your eyes for this. Little no movements. Those micro movements. And then settle your skull right on top of your spine. And for a couple of moments, watch your breathing. If that's comfortable for you, you could also choose an anchor of feeling your body weight on the ground. Bring yourself right here. All the fragments that might be out there, bring yourself right here. Your breath in. Your breath out. Congratulations for taking this time for yourself. If you like, your hands together at your heart, at your chest. Bow your head. You've taken this time to make choices to support you. Peace. Shanti.